Mark the date, August 17, 2021 in your calendar. Do it now, because that is the day that Microsoft Internet Explorer will die. I know, it's big news. But exactly why will it die and who's killing it? We have Rae Johnston, Science and Technology Editor for the National Indigenous Television Network here, and Nic Healey with ABC Western Plains. He's also a technology writer here. Rae, I'm going to start with you. Who is killing Microsoft Internet Explorer?
Microsoft, but also
it's also like ritual seppuku. Is that what that is? I don't know.
Yeah. So after 25 years, it's been Microsoft has decided to kill off Internet Explorer, and yeah, as you said, August 17, 2021 is the last date, but it is going to shut down progressively over that time, and it will also not be receiving any updates, including security updates, which makes it a bit of a risk to use between now and then. So they want you off there. They want you away from Internet Explorer. So tell your mum, tell your dad, they're the only ones still using it, especially if they're in Iran.
Rae, how do you progressively shut down a browser? Like, 'cause it sounds like organ failure. I'm trying to understand what that means.
It basically will target all of the supporting apps and make them unable to support Internet Explorer anymore. So it's starting with the Microsoft Teams web app. So that won't support it from November 30, which isn't too far away. And then all of the remaining Microsoft 365 apps and services just won't have any support for that browser as of next year. And they really, really, really just want you to use Microsoft Edge, folks.
Yeah, and
just
so that's worth
Edge.
pointing out that Edge is, Nic Healey, the replacement that they've got.
Edge has been around for a while. It's had a couple of iterations. I have been hearing really good things about it, since it started getting based essentially on a Chrome platform.
Nick, I've literally never heard of Microsoft Edge before this conversation.
Genuinely. So they've had, as I said, a couple of goes at it. Initially, people were like, what am I looking at here? Why is this happening? Can I just get Internet Explorer back? Which is shocking. When you were saying, can I please get Internet Explorer back? Things are pretty dire indeed, let's be honest. But I've just
familiarity
honestly,
counts for something.
It does. It also breeds contempt. Edge has been iterating and iterating and iterating. And again, I'm just hearing some really solid things about it. It's going to depend on what device you use. Are we really that tied to our desktops and our PCs and our laptops when it comes to our browsing at the moment? I mean, who is using that style of browser? It's really interesting to me.
So for you, Rae, like, what do you think the legacy is actually going to be of Internet Explorer? Because I think for millions of people, Internet Explorer might have actually been the first time they used a web browser. It sort of was quite instructive in that way.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the first web browser, but it was certainly one of the first, and it was the most widely popular one at its time until other options came along. And I think it's the kind of default browser that a lot of people were first introduced to. So I think I will end up putting it in the same sort of memory box as a Big Pond email account.
Or a Hotmail or an Aussie Mail.
Also, I'm not joking. No one's using it. Like, this is part of why it's been shut down. Like, anyone that uses the internet has completely moved on from using Internet Explorer. So it's time to leave it behind. And I don't really think that many people are sad about this event.
For you, Nick, what have been some of the innovations in browser technology that you think have sort of leaped forward that category of software?
I've been using Chrome for a long time, pretty much since, Chrome became available. It was Netscape before that for me. Like, I was never really an Internet Explorer user, but you want to have a unified experience. You don't want that stratification of having to use different apps. And, having Chrome, having everything built into it, having the way it can access, as many people have often said, privacy is the currency we spend for convenience. And that browsing, we want it to be convenient. We mock the algorithm, but we love it when it works. And I think that's been a really important part of where other browsers have taken off.
I don't want to have to, be scribbling down passwords places. I don't want to have all of my things spread all over the place. I don't want to have to try to scramble to remember anything that's going on. I'm also a big fan of Chrome. I am, quite concerned with the amount of information that Chrome and Google has on me, but that horse is well bolted. But it really is a browser that considers the user and the needs of the user and also evolves with it. It's not just a single use, here's how you access the internet. Here's an entire ecosystem that can bring together versions of every type of platform you might ever want to use. And by the way, you only have to remember one login. I did a little bit of reading about what the future of browsers will look like.
Oh, yeah.
And so I found an article from like 5 years ago or something, which is just glorious to be able to go back and read about these things. Did you know that that virtual reality browsers are just going to be a massive thing in the future, folks?
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently we're all going to chuck on our VR goggles and just browse the internet with VR on our faces.
I swear we did some interview with some startup about 5 or 6 years ago that was spruiking that same concept. Oh, dear.
It's just honestly not something that is in line with the way people use virtual reality right now. It's very much a single-use experience type platform. It's not going to be something that we're going to be using on an everyday basis.
Definitely.
To check our email and browse on the internet. That's ridiculous.
All right, there is lots more of this in the podcast of Download This Show. We're also talking about something that Airbnb has banned. What is it? You'll have to go to the podcast to find out. See you guys.